Hey going guys, today I'll be presenting to you a book review. This is my first one, I've never really done one of these before, but I'm excited, so let's get into it. The book I'm reviewing is How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is the first book I've read by Dale Carnegie, and from my knowledge, he's one of the forefathers of self-help and self-improvement training. The impact of this book has most likely paved the way for several others in the genre. Although published way back in 1936, many if not all of Carnegie's principles are still relevant today. Carnegie speaks about the keys of psychology, human behavior, and how to effectively engage and manage your relationships. This could be a great book for you if you want to put yourself out there and improve your social confidence. In any instance, wherever you may encounter human interaction, there could be something in this book for you. So Carnegie divides his book into 4 main topics. Number 1. The fundamental techniques of how to handle people. This area includes basic principles such as not being quick to judge or criticize, and when given the opportunity, always give honest and sincere appreciation. This means people will be more likely to be open with you, more agreeable, and more likely to act in your favor. Number 2, how to become a more likable person. The strategies that are touched upon here include the importance of remembering people's names. As Carnegie expresses, when a person's name is remembered and pronounced correctly, this can be one of the most desirable things that a person can listen to. This section also explores how showing a genuine interest in a person and being an active listener can make them value your presence and opinion. Number 3, winning people to your way of thinking. This topic dives into the key aspects of negotiation. When influencing other people to consider your ideas, it's important to note that it is useless to engage in an argument with them. Instead, look to gain trust and credibility. Allow them to openly express themselves and to acknowledge their opinion. As you can honestly understand their ideas and desires from their perspective, this can also open the doors for them to consider your ideas too. Number 4, standing out as a leader without causing offense or resentment. Carnegie's final section exhibits how effective leadership is built through respect and by making the individuals around you better. Carnegie's ways to accomplish these include always beginning with honest praise. People are more likely to be open to your feedback when you've complimented them first. When giving feedback, try to point out their mistakes and shortcomings in an indirect way. By doing this can make them happy to do the things that you suggest. Moving on from Carnegie's main topics, here are my top 3 lessons that I learned and I reflected upon as I read the book. Number 1, the best way to handle an argument is to avoid it. This spoke to me because growing up as the youngest of 3 siblings, the majority of my life has been about debating, defending myself, and dedicating my entire being just to prove my point. And I think up until this book, I didn't actually realize that this was one of my downfalls. Because yes, I would engage in arguments, yes, I would try to win them, but at the same time, by the end of them, I would always find myself losing. Because instead of winning people to my way of thinking, which I'd hope I'd done, this just made people feel upset, humiliated, and resentful against me. My approach did not seek to value or consider the opinions or emotions of other people, and instead, I was presenting myself as an individual who was unwilling to cooperate and unable to consider the different ways of thinking. In the eyes of others, this made me seem arrogant, outspoken, and this made a lot of people reconsider building their relationships with me. And from now on, as best I can, I try to diffuse the arguments and avoid them rather than adding fuel to the fire. Number 2, seek to improve others rather than criticize them. Learning from Carnegie's examples, it has shown me how to be a better leader and how to become a person that people can respect and can look up to. A big part of this experience is the way you provide honest feedback. In the past, I know that I've come off as direct, very judgmental, and very critical. But what I have learned is that nobody wants to be put on the spot and confronted with their own flaws and shortcomings. Very few people will be willing to accept advice from someone who's just lectured them. My plan moving forward is to not tell people that they're wrong or that they need to fix something in their life. I want to be able to listen, understand their point of view, and perhaps provide meaningful advice. Number 3, put others first and genuinely appreciate them. I'm not proud to say this, but in the past, I've been known to be very self-centered. I've been known to make very selfish decisions, being very inconsiderate of other people's plans, only doing things for my own benefit. But by looking at the people that I look up to and learning from some of the principles in this book, it's been revealed to me that it's so easy to be selfish and prideful, but to put others first before your own needs. This is an example of showing great character. When you consciously make sacrifices for people and genuinely give them appreciation, this gives them a reason to be thankful for you, and you will likely be making an impact on them. So yes, Carnegie does have positive themes and key practices in his book, but I do have some concerns. People who follow these principles religiously might find themselves killed by their own kindness. In the book, it essentially assumes that by avoiding conflict, demonstrating restraint, and acting like a people pleaser, this will automatically cause people to like you and want to be your friend. This, unfortunately, is an unrealistic expectation. My fear is that, with some people desperate to make friends and venture outside their comfort zone, they may experience disappointment, as they may end up attracting fake friends that only want to take advantage of them. To remedy this, you should only treat Carnegie's strategies as a guideline, as his suggestions have specific applications only relevant to their contextual circumstances. On the other hand, my second concern is that people may seek to exploit these principles, using them as strategies for manipulation. Truth is, the strategies in this book are powerful. I've referred to them in my day-to-day living, and I personally have seen them work. However, when used with ill intentions, this can have negative consequences. When you actively make sacrifices for people, make them feel valued, and provide them with a sense of importance, people will grow to appreciate you. They will also be open to your advice and your suggestions. This is good news. However, the bad news is that people can use this to subconsciously exploit and manipulate the people that trust them. This is how people fall victim to scams, dodgy sales pitches, and become unknowingly stuck in toxic relationships. You will be more likely to turn a blind eye to someone's abusive behavior if you believe that that person values you or gives you some sense of importance. My only advice to you in this situation is, you really need to reflect and see who this person really is. Ask yourself if they are truly thinking in your best interest. Be careful who you place your trust into, because not everyone shares the same motives as you. To close my review, I would like to leave you with 3 practical pieces of advice that were inspired by the themes in Carnegie's book. Number 1, be open to admit your mistakes. In relationships, whether they're intimate, work-related, family, or just friends, it's inevitable that conflict will arise. And that's okay. Sometimes you just won't see eye to eye. A general tip from me is, people will appreciate you better when you put your pride aside and you openly admit your mistakes. Being the first to apologize and admitting your mistakes means you're taking responsibility, and it shows to others that you're willing to have the intention to repair whatever damages that the issue has caused. The sooner that you and the other person can clear the air and discover a middle ground, the better. Number 2, listen closely before you speak. In my experience, you can tell whether or not a person genuinely values your company just by the way they listen. An active listener doesn't just listen with their ears, but with their entire body. Simple things like eye contact, smiling, not interrupting, being focused, undistracted, and being completely immersed in the conversation. These are the qualities of someone that appreciates your company. Keep in mind that sometimes you don't even need to give your opinion or advice. Indirectly, you're helping them organize their thoughts, and you can even provide them with a sense of healing and belonging. With my final tip, I would advise you to live and act with a growth mindset. In the world of self-help, people who don't actively choose to help themselves often live with a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset does not believe in change. They often blame others for their shortcomings, and they believe their actions don't have any effect on the course in which their life is set towards. They kind of just accept the quality of life that they have. Whatever happens, just happens to them. It is what it is, right? But the sad thing is, these are people that feel as if they have no control over their relationships, their careers, or their futures. And yeah, I get it. You can't change how you were raised or how you were treated. You can't go back and change the decisions that you made in the past. But a growth mindset looks back, acknowledges why things happened the way it did, and takes responsibility for their future. It doesn't complain or blame others. It sees life as an opportunity to learn and is grateful for it. A growth mindset believes in change and considers how their actions have an effect on themselves and the world around them. A growth mindset doesn't settle. It works to reach its full potential. And with that final remark, I hope you reach yours too. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to catching you next time. Take care.